Here we go again. The case that keep. I feel I'm repeating myself here because I have two cases that I cover that keeps on giving. That keeps on giving. Well, now it is serial pregnancy scam Laura Owens again. But it's not actually Laura Owens, it is Mommy and Daddy Owens. Welcome to the show. Yes, it is Mom and Dad Owens. Last time we heard of them, they had their bankruptcy case dismissed because they didn't want to. So I didn't want to provide the documents, didn't want to commit to payment. So the court dismissed it. And that was, I believe, in November of last year, maybe December. Well, here we go again. Elizabeth Ann Naylor and Ronald Stephen Owens. United States Bankruptcy Court, District of Arizona, May 22nd. So Friday. 4:11 p.m., which is as close to end of day as possible. Maybe they thought, hey, this won't reach the docket until after the weekend, buying some time. Oh, no. It's assigned, yeah. And it's a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, what does this mean? Well, this, I believe, is the start of a repetition. They will apply for bankruptcy. They will pretend to oblige by the rules. They pretend to, la-di-da-di-da. Yes, we are going to this set payment, yada, yada, yada. And if you, then they don't care. This is a common scam when it comes to these to squatters. Rent, the people who go rent a house or an apartment and then they don't pay. And when you finally get them to court, they file for bankruptcy, which stays every procedure. And this seems to be what the Owens, Mom and Dad Owens, are doing now. Because they are heavily in debt. They are probably still buying stuff for Laura, which is expensive, which means they don't pay the debtors. And now, so we will probably keep seeing this once or a couple of times a year going forward, that Ron and Ann don't pay, file for bankruptcy, gets a stay on everything. The people they owe money, they have to do everything, call a lawyer, spend money to get their money, get this is, in my opinion, now this is the right of people to file for bankruptcy. Nothing against people who is in such a predicament that they file for bankruptcy, because they are way over their head. They get a set amount. You pay this, you do that, yada yada, and then eventually they become debt free. For some people, that's their only option, and it's hard as fuck, astonishingly hard to go through a bankruptcy. These people, I believe, are using it as a weapon, just as a sword and a shield, to get away from paying people they owe money in order to funnel money to Laura, so she can pay her attorney, and then Laura keeps the scam going by postponing and not doing anything and pretend to want to make a plea deal. And I think this will be the new normal with Laura and Ron. This will be the new normal. Now, Laura can't file for bankruptcy for a year, according to her bankruptcy case. Yeah. I would assume that Laura will try to postpone everything, and then to the day when a year has passed, Laura herself will file for bankruptcy. Now, the courts will probably not do much about it because, I mean, there's literally tens of thousands of people filing for bankruptcy each year. So they won't do anything until the 5th or 6th or maybe 7th time. But by then, the victims of Laura Owens will keep being abused by Laura, and Laura being helped and guided by her parents. This is the new normal, folks. In order to avoid responsibility for what she did. This is the new normal. And this is what happens when this is lawfare. When notoriously bad people are using the justice system itself to punish their victims. And yes, I do believe that Ron and Ann has passed the threshold. Now they are complicits officially in Laura Owens' abuse of her victims. Because there is no way in hell, after all this time, all this information, that they can possibly believe that Laura was actually pregnant and all the things. Now they are in on the scam. Folks, yeah, welcome to the new normal. Thanks for listening in, and you all have a good day, a good evening, a good night, and hug your family unless your family's shit, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. See you in the next stream or video. Bye-bye.